Just do some Nam Sankirtan until Swamiji arrives.
and look forward to satsang over the next few days.
Thank you.
Hari.
Thank you. Sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavitvaram Vasudev Vasutam Devam Kamsachanunamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Kasturi Tilakam Lalata Patale Vakshasthale Kaustubam Nasagre Navamauktikam Karatale Venurkare Kankanam Sarvange Harichandanam Sulalitam Kanthe cha Muktavali Gopastri Pariveshtito Vijayate Gopala Chudamani. Hari Om. Namaste. So today's topic, I thought I would give a bird's eye view of Gita from the standpoint of sadhana. Each one of us has arrived into this world, and upon arriving into this world, we don't have very many choices. We just have to learn to deal with this world. And true spirituality is when we take a look at this life and we learn to appreciate it. No matter how difficult it may be, but when we learn to appreciate it, that is the insignia of true spiritual evolution. And I thought that this would be appropriate for one day. When we study Bhagavad Geeta, Pujya Gurudev used to say that we have to study Gita in many iterations. He said, first time when you study Gita, study it from the standpoint of Lord Krishna. Second time, when we study Bhagavad Geeta, study it from the standpoint of Arjuna. Third time, when we study Bhagavad Geeta, we should study it from the standpoint of a jiva, this embodied soul. Fourth time, when we study Gita, we should study it from the standpoint of mumukshu. I'm not just a jiva, but I'm a jiva who wants to come out, who wants to metamorphose into a divinity beyond comprehension. And it is that standpoint of mumukshu which allows us to penetrate into the words of Bhagavan Krishna and eke out from it deeper imports for self-transformation. And that is called true sadhana. Sadhana in living should be effortless. It shouldn't be a burden. When something is a burden, we will drag our feet. But if we enjoy it, then it is not a burden. And our sadhana should not be a burden to us. Our sadhana should be as comfortable as the shoes that we wear. The fit has to be perfect. One size too small, it will be uncomfortable. One size too big, we will fall down. So like that, our sadhana has to be proper. And when we study Gita from these different standpoints, it allows us to pick out relevant things for us. The first chapter, Bhagavad Gita, starts with the despondency of Arjuna. Arjuna Vishad Yoga. You imagine, it is nothing what Swami Chinmaya used to say, mental diary of Arjuna is the first chapter. He just vomits out his trouble in the mind with this world. His inability to reconcile with this world and the events which are unfolding. So the first chapter is complaints. But see, in case of Arjuna, complaints become yoga. Our complaint will end up in divorce court. Or somebody having problem with the boss, somebody complaining about their employee will end up getting fired. So our complaints, even our complaints should be proper. If we complain, we must learn how to even complain. And we must learn who to complain to. And in his case, it turned into a yoga. Arjuna, Vishad Yoga. Vishad turns into a yoga, you imagine. That is the first sadhana. We must get fed up with life. If we don't get fed up, then we are not roasted in the pan of samsara properly. We have to go through suffering. Without suffering, we will not come out of it. In Bhagavatam, the Prathama Skanda itself, Mother Kunti says, Vipada Santunaha. oh Bhagavan, make calamities befall on my Panch Pandava and Draupadi. Because in the midst of these calamities, I remember you. Otherwise, I don't remember you. Because why did Arjuna complain? He complained because he was fed up. He didn't want to deal with it. Only when we do not want to deal with a vastu, vyakti and paristiti, these three things are very important. Our problems in life arises from objects, vastu, vyakti, people, paristiti, situations. All our problems boil down to three things. For Arjuna, vastu, loss of kingdom. Vyakti, only two, Duryodhana and Karna. He had nobody else that he had enmity towards. Bhishma Mahapita, he worshipped him. Only these two people. And paristiti, war is about to happen. So, for Arjuna, the cry was real. And the sadhana in our life from first chapter is, we must look at our life. And we must come to a conclusion that what I am doing, if I keep on doing the same thing, I will keep on getting the same things I have received up to now. Mundaka Upanishad beautifully summarizes it. Parikshalokan karmachidan brahmanaha nirvedamayat. Hastakruta krutena. That our life should be examined. We must live an examined life. And to live an examined life, not only eyes have to be open, mind has to be open. So many of us, we live our life, but we don't even know what is happening. Eyes are open. Somehow we end up at work in the morning. If we ask at 9 a.m., what did you have for breakfast? People don't even know what they had for breakfast. Because we have just moved like wind. So, we must be in the midst of life with open eyes, open mind. Soak in first. Simha alochanam in Shastra it is called. The lion who is a king of the jungle, he will walk. And then he will stop. And then he will look. And to look, we have to apply brakes. He doesn't run and look. He will stop and he will look. Simha alochanam. And he gathers information. Which wildebeest is where, which deer is where, how they are grazing, what they are doing, who is weak, who is strong. That king of the jungle is looking at his territory. Like that, we must observe our life. And then, upon observing, vastu, vyakti, paristiti, these three things especially we have to observe. What objects are creating obstacles? What objects are adding to my life? what situations my mind, my heart, my mind runs away from. Our likes and dislikes, we must learn to observe. This allows us to cry. It is okay to cry. Cry. Cry in front of a right person. Women want to complain. When do they complain? When he is watching football. That is not the time to complain to him. He is not available. So complain like Arjuna, but you complain to a right person at the right time. So then, after observing, our observation should lead us to something better. But if it doesn't, then we have the right to complain. We do. But it has to be for the sake of betterment. Arjuna complains to Bhagavan, not to Yudhishthir, not to Kripacharya, not to Bhishma Mahapita, not to his mother, not to his siblings, not to his spouse. He complains to Lord. In the same way, we have to complain to a person who's wise, who has dirgha drashti to pull us out from the lower rut that we are stuck in. That is called Vishad Yoga. Yoga, it can only become yoga provided I find a path out of it. Then it is yoga. But if I complain and I remain over there, it is not a yoga. So that is the sadhana from the first chapter. So we must learn to complain. Complain to the right person. Right person. So he complains to Bhagavan. But who is this Bhagavan? Now second chapter. That Bhagavan, in his case, happens to be Guru. So we must have a Guru. Second chapter starts out with Bhagavan criticizing Arjuna's mental state. And a teacher will do that to see how deep down this person is stuck into the problems. Bhagavan calls Arjuna a eunuch, and he is a Mahabaho, a great, mighty, strength warrior. And that Kshatriya who was able to win Draupadi in the Swayamvar, Bhagavan is calling him a eunuch. And Bhagavan wants to see how much does he slip. And that is a job of a guru. Only a guru can do this. And at that point in time, if we complain and walk away, that was not meant to be then. Then we couldn't recognize the guru, and the guru didn't get appropriate shishya. So once Bhagavan tests him Now, Arjuna accepts what Bhagavan has said, and finally he breaks down, and then he says, Karpanya dosho bhavata svabhava pruchhami tvam dharma sammoda cheta. So, complain to the right person. Initially, complain to Bhagavan. Bhagavan will provide a guru for us to come out of it. If our complaints are sincere, that Ishvara will produce guru. And once we find guru, we must stay with that guru until the teaching is complete. He stays until the 18th chapter. At the end, he says, Karishye vachanam tava. Nowadays, Monday this teacher looks good. Tuesday, अरे वो गुरु तो बहुत ही अच्छा बता रहे हैं, कुछ करना ही नहीं है बस. Wednesday, another guru. Thursday, another guru. And we keep on going around. Bhagavan also we keep on changing like a deck of cards. Monday, Shivji. Tuesday, Devi. Thursday, this. And in India, we don't have shortage of gurus or Bhagavans. Shopping mall full of devatas. You go to Sanatan Hindu Mandir. Every corner you will have to bow down. Directions themselves are deities. And then upar niche bhi hai. So, we have no nishtha. We must have nishtha in Ishvara. We must have nishtha in Guru. We must have nishtha in Guru Upadesh, mantra. And we must have nishtha in the Shabda Praman of Guru. Mantra should be followed up with the Kriya Shakti. And this has to be done until the Vishad Yog is no longer a Vishad Yog. It becomes Vishad Siddha. Until then, we have to keep all this. This is so important, so important. There are so many teachers out there. And I'm not looking down upon the teaching and teachers and Shastra and all those things. But there is one meant for us. And when we find it, we have to hold on to it. Even yesterday I told children, when Harry's period of suffering was over in Harry Potter, 12 years. When we go through pain in life, we have to go through pain. And even that is beautifully displayed in the movie. 12 years this boy grows up in sorrow. And then he goes through this sorrow, wishing that a good day will come, but never losing hope. Still treating that uncle and aunt with great regard and respect. This is called growth. Through pain and sorrow. Then, Ishwar sends Guru, and nobody can stop. Those letters keep on coming, keep on coming. Who can stop this dialogue in the midst of Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, Samaveta, Yuyotsavaha? Who can stop? Duryodhana is getting anxious and nervous. He wants to start the war. And he's looking at Bhishma Mahapita. And Bhishma Mahapita is looking at what is unfolding. And he says, my kubhagya that I'm not even a spoke of the wheel of that chariot. I wish I could hear what this boy of mine is listening to. He knew what was going on. He so wished that he were a piece of wood of that chariot, that he would be able to hear the discourse of Krishna. This was the longing of Bhishma Mahapita. And Duryodhan over here is looking at Bhishma Mahapita, who's lost in a dialogue which is going on, unavailable to him, but available to Sanjaya, sitting far away. But Vidhata has brought the dialogue into his ears. That Hanumanji Kapidwaja, who's sitting on the flag of Arjuna, Ramchandra Bhagavan had told Hanumanji that I have taught many a people as Rama avatar, but I'm saving special teaching for you. And that is in the next birth. Next time when I arrive on this planet, I'm going to have a student. And you climb on top of his chariot and you will also learn. One Arjuna, one Hanumanji, one Sanjay. They found this perennial nectar that uplifts the soul. So once we find a guru, who can stop? But that nishtha of Arjuna, his love for Bhagavan Krishna, that allowed this Amrita Varshini to arrive. So, that is what we have to learn. The sadhana, the 14 years that Arjuna stayed in the forest, Bhagavan Krishna was right next to him. He loved Bhagavan, but he never questioned Bhagavan at that time. But his love for Bhagavan grew. It increased in 2-fold, 4-fold, 8-fold, 16-fold. Up to the point where he told Bhagavan, I only want you without your weapons. That was music to Duryodhan's ears. That I only want his weapons. You can take him. So he had complained to that Bhagavan. I've gone to people's home and I went to somebody's home and I know that they have a beautiful altar. And the next time I went over there, I said, अरे भगवान कहाँ पे चले गए? अरे आजकल तो भगवान के साथ नफरत हो गई, हमने पैक करके अंदर रख दिए हैं खाट के नीचे, हम सो जाते हैं भगवान के ऊपर. I said, अरे क्या हुआ? What happened? Why did you put away your Bhagavan? He said, these days, I'm having issues with Bhagavan. I've packed up Bhagavan and he's sitting underneath my bed. I said, what happened? He said, he only brings trouble. I worship him, I give him some food, and all I have is just nothing but pain and sorrow. That type of bhakti where we don't pray to Bhagavan, but we pray upon Bhagavan. That is not going to do anything, you know. So our prayers should be unconditional. And that was the prayers of Arjuna, his love for Lord Krishna, sitting in the forest, their kingdom stolen away, and yet happy with Bhagavan. Draupadi also, great love for Krishna. So, our complaint should be to that Ishvara. And that Ishvara turned into Guru. And when our love for Bhagavan is paripakva, and when that Bhagavan brings the teacher, we will never doubt that Guru. How can he doubt Krishna? He's worshipped him for 14 years in the forest. He's looked up to that Bhagavan. And I'm spending more time on this because this is real sadhana. I see people lacking in their faith in Ishvara and in Guru. Only when we have faith in Ishvara, when we have faith in Guru, then we can have faith in the teaching which is Shastra. Shashanat iti Shastra. See, Shastra is not for a person who does not believe in Shastra, because they are not going to believe in it. Shastra is not meant for a person who's reached. Shastra hi kim prayojanam. They've already reached. And the one who admits that they are in deep hot water and they want to come out of it. If I know that I want to grow in life, I want simple peace of mind and happiness, I don't want anything else. Bhagavan, give me peace of mind. My mind should be at rest. Even that is a great prayer. Just peace of mind, and for no apparent reason, joy. Chitta prasannata. And I know I am in hot waters. Then the only way to come out of it is Shastra. Why? Because I've tried all other means. That's why I'm complaining. Pariksha lokan, karmachidan brahmana. Having examined nastya kruta krutena, tried various paths, but the akruta, ananda, krutena, na labhyate. The uncaused joy cannot be a function of a cause, meaning a limited action. I must go to a person who has peace of mind, who is happy, and who revels in it. So Guru meva abhigachet. Upanishad is clear. Okay, go to a teacher. Samik Pani, who is the teacher? Shrotriyam Brahmanishta. The one who has the semantics to teach, that is called Shrotriya, and Brahmanishta, meaning what he is speaking, he lives it. He or she, whatever they speak, they live. Such a teacher may one approach. And what should one do? Dharma sammuda chetaha. Bhagavan, guide me on the path of dharma. I don't know. And how does the Gita start? Dharma kshetre, kuru kshetre. Dharma eva kshetra. That dharma itself becomes a field, but in that field, I'm not able to find it. Kurukshetra. Kuru is a Kuru Vamsha. And in the Kuru Vamsha, it has double meaning as well. It can be a kshetra of action. Kuru dhatu karma. In the field of action, I cannot find proper ways to make sense out of the world and my duty in this world. Oh Lord, guide me in it. As simple as that. Why? Shishyasteham shadimam. I'm your student. I'm your shishya. Shadimam, you instruct me. See, these sadhanas are so important, so important. Because 98 to 99% of our problems are in here. We lack in faith. Shraddhavan lavate jnanam. Bhagavan himself will say in 4th chapter. Shamshayatma vinashyati. The one who doubts, the one who finds defects, they will destroy themselves. And that is why it is so important that we find a teacher, and when we find that right teacher, we stay surrendered until the work is over. And after the work is over, we stay surrendered in reverence that, oh, now I know why I am, where I am, and this person brought me over here. Earlier it is the buddhi. Afterwards it is the bhavana, heart. And that keeps us over there. That is why it is so important that we stay surrendered. Yasya deve, over here it is a yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru. Upanishad says that the person who has that faith in that Devata Ishwar, and that same faith the one that student has in Guru, as much Shraddha as he has in Ishwar, for that person, the artha of the Shastra opens up without effort. We do gymnastics of learning Sanskritam and doing this and doing that, but if the Shraddha is paripurna, if our bhakti is paripurna of Ishwar and Guru, that Guru's Ajna, Guru's blessings itself will open up. It will open up. The Shastras, they will open up their secrets, and that person will grow in 10-fold, 20-fold, 1,000-fold. We see in the 4 disciples of Shankaracharya ji this. Padmapadacharya ji, he was called Padmapadacharya ji because the minute Shankaracharya ji uttered his name, he was on the other side of the river. He ran across the river, and the river had to produce flowers to keep him afloat. Totakacharya ji couldn't pronounce And the others were ridiculing that this boy is just washing clothes and cleaning the vessels. What would he understand about Shastra? And Shankaracharya ji asked him, take a seat, speak. And he spoke in the Totaka meter. Vidita khila shastra sudha jalade mahitopanishad kathitartanide. And the others were silent that this sevak has learned so much. The reason why I say this is our time and effort should go into cultivating this. This is a great sadhana. It is not easy to develop Shraddha and Bhakti in Ishwar and Guru. Not easy. That's why we have 99% of the Vedas karma kand. We have to do rituals after rituals to just fall in love with Bhagavan. Blessed is a person who closes his eyes and sees Bhagavan. Khelati mama hridaye, Sri Rama, khelati mama hridaye. For that person, what can karma kand do? Nothing. Eyes closed, Rama is available. For the rest of us, we have to take a sankalpa, mamopata samastadritaksha dvara, blah, 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 it goes on. Why? So that my mind stays over here, at the feet of Rama. Blessed is the one who sees Rama over here. That is why, if we invest our time and effort in cultivating love for God, love for teacher, the teachings will follow. But if I divert my attention today at this God, tomorrow at this guru, that guru, this one is saying you do this one is saying you don't do this, you have to do this, then we will only be doing jumping jacks. So now, Arjuna has attained Ishwar Bhakti. That Ishwar has turned into Guru. And what does the Guru do? Teach. The Guru doesn't ask about where have you been, what are you doing, how many children you have. Guru immediately starts Ashocyan and Vashochastvam Prajnavadan Shabhashase. What does Guru do? A true Guru only speaks about the highest goal. While comforting, you grieve, but you don't get lost in your grief. Ashocyan, Anvashochasam, it is not worthy of giving this much time and attention. Yes, you grieve, but you move on. If somebody loses their near and dear, we will cry, and there's nothing wrong in it. I was just in Uttarkashi with Guruji, and this mom and dad came over there, and they lost their 36-year-old son. Which mom will not cry when she loses her 36-year-old son? And that father was sitting next to her and saying, Swamiji, ye to ab bhi roti hai. And Guruji immediately said, Arey maa hai, rone do na. Uske liye maa nahi roegi to kaun roega? If the mother doesn't cry at the deathbed of the son, who else is going to cry? But then he said something very beautiful. Rolo. He even put the tissue paper. He said, cry. And even Guruji shed tears. He's known her for 40 years. He's seen her pregnant with this baby. So even he feels his grief. Rolo. He also wiped, and then he said, but listen to Shvetashvatara Upanishad. What does it say? We have to move on in life. We have to move on. Pray for him. May Bhagavan keep this boy happy wherever he is. But you slowly move on. That is exactly what Bhagavan is saying. First shloka of Gita. Vashocyan and Vashochastvam. You grieve, but don't drown yourself in your sorrows. Bas, that much teaching, if we understand this teaching, of course from 11 to 30, pure Sankhya philosophy, very high. And this is what Guru gives. Guru Upadesh is such that it leads us towards the absolute goal of life. And if a teacher doesn't indicate that, then there is something not right in the picture. This is Upadesh. And this is perennial. These teachings are not teachings of modern day world. It has been coming along. So that is the sadhana from the second chapter. Develop implicit faith in teacher. And that faith alone will decide how well we will dive into the teachings. If the faith is complete, immediately we will take on to the teaching like a duckling taking on to water. Third chapter. So, the third chapter, now Bhagavan comes to daily life. First, he indicates the absolute goal, and then vyavaharika satta. It's like, how should your conduct be? व्यवहार में क्या करना है? तो निष्कर्म का प्रतिपादन करते हैं भगवान. भगवान teaches vyavhar in transactional reality. Bhagavan says, take everything with a pinch of salt. Do action as though you are doing this action for the last time. Complete your actions. Nishkam. Remove your desire for this world. Why? Because he says, world is transient, including you. If we are part of a play, and the play is going to end, then why get caught up in the play? So your transaction should be just like the play. The play is transient. Let your action be transient. How can action be transient? Don't be attached to it. Give up your ownership to the action, and the action itself will become transient. Why? Because it will not come back to bite you. That's why it becomes completely transient. Wherever we do, whatever we do, it will remain right there. It will not follow us. But if we do it with attachment, it will follow us. And when it follows us, Bhagavan says, that is called karma phala. You're going to have to deal with the remnants of action known as the fruits of actions. So sadhana in the 3rd chapter is remove the notion that the world is real. Jagati satya buddhi, remove. Ponder upon this. Easier said than done. This is how you will take on to nishkama karma. First point. Remove the notion that the world is real. Then the next set of shlokas, Bhagavan talks about, in case if you cannot do this, then Bhagavan says, for the sake of yajnarthat karma kuru. For the sake of yajna. Like yesterday in satsang I was saying, you take it as a duty. Duty is what is due to the other. For that purpose, you do. So for the sake of yajna, if there is a family living together, 2 kids are there, they have to go to, one has a football practice, the other one has a piano class, mom and dad are both working, they've arrived home, mom has to quickly fix dinner, kids have activities, dad is running. So everybody takes on a responsibility. Mom says, I will be over here, I'll finish cooking the supper. Dad says, I will take this one. After you finish, if you can drop this one off at the piano class, come back. On my way back, I can pick up. Like that, we take upon the responsibility to make sure that everything moves cohesively. In the same way, the universe is a family. The rains fall for a reason. The grains grow for a reason. The food arrives in our plate for a reason. We consume it for a reason. In the same way, there is a whole cycle. At least for that sake, you participate. So he gives us a different way of looking at it, and he coins this word yajnarthat for the sake of a total picture. So these are the 2 sadhanas we can take from chapter 3. It's quite deep, but I'm just giving, from the standpoint of a mumukshu. We want to practice this. We are looking at it at a different glance, that how do I incorporate this? How do I practice nishkamata? Then comes the 4th chapter, and in the 4th chapter, श्लोकास 1 through 18, सगुण भगवान का प्रभाव और निष्काम कर्म योग का विषय. So majority of this chapter, again, Bhagavan revisits the idea of Ishvara. And over here, Adhishtaya Sambhavam Atmamayaya. That I'm unborn, but for the sake of creation, Arjuna, I take a form. What is so wrong in a form? The world is made up of form. Why are forms there? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati. All that Bhagavan says, tadatmanam srijamyaham sambhavami yuge yuge. I take forms. I take forms, I intervene in this world to bring this world on a proper path. So the sadhana from this chapter is come to accept saguna form of Ishwar. And that makes our surrender from chapter 1 to chapter 2 complete. Now we can accept the teaching. Because in the second chapter he had said that he's unborn. Na jayate, na mriyate. Then how are you standing in front of me and advising me? How do I reconcile that? Thus he brings this concept of Bhagavan with name and form. So if somebody is praying to an object, an idol worship, we must understand it from this standpoint, that there is a purpose in murti puja, in a karma, in an action. This portion, shlokas 1 through 18, validates the first 3 sections of Vedas. There are 4 sections: mantra portion, brahmana portion, aranya portion, and vedanta portion. The first three are known as karmakand. Karmakand, ritualism. So all that over here, Bhagavan is saying that do accept name and form. Start from there. And then you move on. So this is what is said over here, that we doubt God. We doubt the presence of Bhagavan. So he says that have faith in Saguna Swarupa. And that is 4th chapter. In a nutshell, we can take that as a sadhana. 5th chapter. Now, 5th chapter, upon accepting in the 4th the Absolute's emergence in this universe as the world of name and form, I may get attached to name and form. So, Bhagavan brings in knowledge aspect. So, 1 to 6, he brings in Sankhya Yoga, absolute, which was talked about in chapter 2 from 11 to 30. He brings those ideas and he clubs it with Karma Yoga. And when absolute is mixed with the proper understanding of Karma Yoga, it becomes a karma which is unleashed without the sense of doership. So the whole chapter is the renunciation of action. And action can only be renounced when I renounce doership. So I had said that I have to remove in the 3rd chapter the idea that the world is real. 5th chapter, I have to renounce the idea that I, the body, is real. So Jagati Satya Buddhi is removed, and Aham Dehaha Bhavana is the 5th chapter. These are very subtle topics of Vedanta. So essentially, the 5th chapter, the true sadhana over here is to remove the jiva hood. How do I do that? How do I remove that I am not the jiva? Every day, when I wake up, first thing in the morning when the alarm rings, turn it off, sit quietly. And before that mind takes on to the various thoughts, observe the silent mind. In that silent mind is the absence of the individual doer. And after 2 or 3 seconds, thoughts will come. I have to go to work. Oh my God, I overslept. Oh my God, I have to fix lunch for my child. Oh, today I have to drop her off over there. And the whole samsara starts. But we can catch ourselves in our true nature, which is masked by the thoughts only in these initial stages when we learn to observe. And at that time, our true identity is, I am not the body, I am pure being. And that is why the very next chapter is on meditation. Only in meditation you will be able to realize, or we will be able to realize, that we are not the body. That's why there is an order in which these chapters are placed. There is a reason why meditation is the 6th chapter after this. Because it is to remove the idea, the notion that I am an individual. You can go to any one of these tube stations and just sit. Over here the trains come every, I think, 2 minutes or so. And just observe the play. Continuously, one arrives, people come out, people go in, it moves on. Learn to observe the play of the world. Do it for 2 or 3 months. Just 5 minutes. And after 2 or 3 months, you learn to observe yourself observing the play of the tubes. That is where you will find this chapter. Learn to see yourself seated, any one of these stations, and you watch yourself watching the play of the trains. That is when we will realize, I am much more than this body. I'm much more than the play of these tubes continuously coming and going, trains coming and going. The trains coming and going is Jagati Satya Buddhi. And me watching the body watching is Aham Dehaha Bhavana. I am the body will be removed when you watch yourself watch the trains. And when you are watching the play of the trains, you will be able to remove the idea that this world is real. You will only see it as a play. These two things are great Vedantic sadhana. On these two ideas, a scripture is written, Panchadashi. Just these two ideas, you can imagine. 1800 shlokas. Hair-splitting logic to prove world is unreal. It pushes me into the 6th chapter of meditation. The sadhana that I have for this chapter, daily This is for practice. The details you can read in this chapter. It's a beautiful chapter. Every day, daily spend 10 minutes reading scriptures. You can write this down. Sadhana from chapter 6. Daily spend 10 minutes reading scriptures. Daily spend 10 minutes doing japa. And daily spend 10 minutes in solitude. You can keep your eyes open. No phone, no earphones. Hands free. So 10, 10, 10. 10 minutes, read something. You can read one shloka of Gita and the commentary of Gurudev. 10 minutes, you can do japa of your Ishta Devata. 10 minutes in solitude. That is daily. Now weekly. Weekly, you do 2 hours of nothing. Seriously, it's easier, sir. You try to sit for 2 hours and do nothing, you'll go crazy. This is the sadhana. 2 hours in a week, do nothing. My practice, I've learned this from Swami Advayananji. He doesn't speak on Thursdays. So I've also put that into practice. Thursdays, I abstain from speaking. Instead, I contemplate. If I want to speak something, I mentally see what I want to vocalize and I contemplate upon it. So, weekly 2 hours, do nothing. And thoughts will attack you. Learn to watch them. Learn to watch them. Learn to watch them. You can lock yourself in a room and you can walk, you can sit down, you can keep your eyes open. No phone, no music, no TV, just yourself. There will come a point in time, after 6 months, you'll be able to sit. And you will enjoy your company. Weekly, 2 hours of doing nothing. Monthly, now monthly, huh? So daily, weekly, monthly. Monthly, 8 hours, you treat yourself to something that you enjoy. You can go out in the woods. You can read. But do something that you enjoy. You can paint. And yearly, take 3 days off on a retreat. Not a family holiday, huh? By yourself. And you do this for 5 years. And you would know what Bhagavan is saying in chapter 6. This is easier said than done. Simple exercise, but very tall. The results of it are life-changing. You will like the person who you are living with, yourself. You will fall in love with your own self. Not thinking highly of yourself, just you will appreciate what Bhagavan has created. It's a great sadhana. Meditation, when it is done properly, it integrates us. It gives us a new perspective of who we are. That's the book that we are selling in the bookstore when Gurudev says every breath a teaching. Because every breath that we take, we will look at this world with a new pair of eyes. This is beauty in living. Seventh is Jnana Vijnana Yoga. See, when we do these practices that I talked about, 7th chapter, Bhagavan says, Sutre Manigana iva, Rasohamapsis Konteya, Prabhasmi, Shashi Surya Yoho. You will see the sun rays filtered from the clouds, and in the sun rays, you will see the presence of Bhagavan. In the moon, you will see Bhagavan. And it is not the seeing of the eye. The eye is only seeing the moon. The eye is only seeing a cloud. But you will see beyond the vision. That is 7th chapter. Jnana Vijnana. Vijnana is knowledge added to drashti. And that drashti becomes darshan. It is not samanya drashti. It is not a simple seeing. Even a dog sees, a cat sees. The dog also recognizes that this is my owner and this is a postman, and he barks at the other one and he wags the tail over here. But to see Nikrushta Vastu and create an Utkrushta Buddhi, that is called darshan. You see a stone and you see the hands of the Creator in the stone. That is called darshan. That is 7th chapter. So the sadhana over here, you will only be able to do provided you do what I said in chapter 6. It's a daily attempt to remain in silence. Daily attempt to remain in silence. Daily attempt to keep myself as a drashta. Daily attempt to dwell in simple joys. Then darshan will happen. You imagine people go to Tirupati. They stand in queue for, oh my God, hours. And they come in front of Bhagavan and they close their eyes and they're pushed out. Arey, Bhagavan, kahan gaye? They stand in line for hours to close their eyes. And then I asked anybody who's gone to Tirupati, I said, describe to me what he was wearing. He says, Swamiji, wearing? I don't even know what it looked like. Every single person who's gone to Tirupati, you ask. We stand in queue for 8, 9, 10 hours, some people 3, 4, 5 days. And when we come in front of him, we close our eyes. Because a true darshan of Bhagavan only happens inside. It is not in the 3.5 feet of stone. The stone is an insignia of Lord of the universe. And he resides over here. And Jnana of the 7th chapter will allow us to see Tirupati over here. Others will just go and close their eyes and complain. Arey Bhagavan to dekhe nahi. Kaise dekhege? Jnana to hai nahi. You went over there to see a stone and you don't get to see a stone, and then you can complain. But a bhakta, He's standing in that line and Akhanda Vishnu Sahasranam Parayanam is going on. Mind is Vishnu Maya. When he comes in front of Balaji, mind is already at the feet of Balaji. Darshan has happened. He will walk away from there with little tirtha, and he has no interest in Tirupati Laddu. And others will say, Laddu lai. Because darshan is on Laddu and not Balaji. Because the jnana of the 7th chapter is paripakva. Mere to Giridhar Gopal, dusaro na koi. The dusaro na koi is jnana. And because dusaro na koi, she has vignan. Are ye to sab jane wala hai. I'm not the princess of Mewad. I'm a servant of Krishna. That is 7th chapter. He gives this darshan. And that same darshan continues in the 9th chapter. Ananyas chintayanto ma yejana pariupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. We are fixated on giving pushpam. And a bhakta goes, and sometimes he doesn't take anything in his hands, but he has offered the greatest thing available, and that is his mind. And he alone has given. A king can give the whole kingdom, but yet there is an ownership which says, मैंने तो kingdom दिया है. He says, I have given, that I remains. But a bhakta gives the mind, remains with nothing. And yet, he's full. That is the sadhana. He's grown just in chapters 1 through 9. His relationship with Krishna is completely different. Then, 10th chapter. In 10th chapter, Bhagavan says, Dadamite buddhi yogam tvam. He says, I will show you my vibhuti, but to see the vibhuti in the universe, I will have to give you buddhi yoga. Through that buddhi, you will be able to understand that of all mountains, it is the Himalayas. Of all constellations, it is the moon. Like that, Hamatma, Gudakesha, all those things Bhagavan says. But the important thing in 10th chapter is the mind has to be led to the feet of Bhagavan. Without that, we will never ever be able to see the Lord in this universe. And in 11th chapter, he says, Divyam dadamite chakshu. He changes the buddhi to chakshu. Because in 11th chapter, for the Vishwaroop, he's seeing the form on the outside, but the darshan is on the inside. So divya chakshu is required. The form is on the outside, but it has to be processed in the heart. The universe is on the outside, but it has to be processed in the buddhi. So 10th chapter is the Divyam Dadamite Buddhi Yoga. And in the 11th chapter, it is Chakshu. 10th and 11th chapter together forms the seeing of the universe with the head and the heart. Only then the vision is complete. The world is to be understood by buddhi, and Lord is to be seen with the Divya Chakshu. This is how we assimilate Jeev, Jagat and Ishwar. Jagat with buddhi has to be negated. Jiva has to be surrendered with Divya Chakshu at the feet of Bhagavan. And all three of them are gone in Advaita Bhakti of the 12th chapter. So sadhana in the 10th chapter, surrender your buddhi. Surrender your buddhi. How do I surrender the buddhi? Practice humility. How do I get divine chakshu? Chapter 11. Practice love and compassion. See God in everything. You can only see God when we practice unconditional love and compassion. Then, 12th chapter, we are born anew. Bhakta. And that bhakta alone can look at this world with proper understanding. And the 13th chapter, the world becomes the knower and the known field. And I become the knower. The field is explained in the 14th chapter as Prakriti, and the knower of the field is explained in the 15th chapter as Purushottama. And that is the end of Gita. 16, 17, 18 are just added. 16, the yoga of divine and demonical qualities. Threefold faith, 17. And 18, summary of Bhagavad Gita. So, first chapter, we have to learn to complain. Complaining is not enough. We have to complain to God properly. Second chapter, God provides a guru. It is our job to develop faith. That guru has to be Shastravit. Bhagavan exemplifies that. Shlokas 11 to 30 of second chapter. Further, the teacher fixes our conduct in the transactional reality. That is the third chapter. We must improve our conduct. How do I improve my conduct? Via action. Action becomes better. Fourth, I combine knowledge to action. Fifth, I renounce the ownership. How? By meditating. How do I learn to meditate? Living life in mindfulness, which is what I gave daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. If I do that, my vision improves. 7th chapter. Up to the point where my transaction with Ishvara improves 9th chapter. That same Ishvara gives me Buddhi Yoga, 10th chapter. Prasad of the Buddhi Yoga is Chakshu Yoga. Divyam dadami te chakshu. I see Bhagavan within. From without, I go within. That's why when he sees the Bhayanak form of Bhagavan, he closes his eyes. And when I see Bhagavan within, 12th chapter, I'm a Bhakta. Then I know the field, and I know myself, the knower of the field. So I gave this bird's eye view of Bhagavad Geeta. I hope you found it useful. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma amritam gamaya. Om purnamadav purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate, purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vashishyate. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Hari Om. It's now my delightful duty to say a few words of thanks to Swamiji. Every time I'm given this wonderful duty, I cannot but bow down in deep gratitude and reverence to the parampara that we have. And as Swamiji briefly alluded to, as the Guru, so the Shishya. To summarize what is said in the Gita in 90 minutes is no mean task. And to take a particular aspect of that and give it to us in the way we understand these days, in bullet point form, is indeed wonderful. And we are fortunate that we have such acharyas who visits us and share with us in a capsule form. And they are able to encapsulate this because of their own sadhana, their own mananam. And we are here to actually ingest this as baby food, really. So thank you, Swamiji, from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of Chinmaya Mission UK and all of us here, for having taken the time to do this. And before I conclude tonight's proceedings, there are a few announcements. And as with any infomercial, wait, there is more. So 2 more days Swamiji is with us, and both in the evenings, he is spending his time with the youth. So if you have anyone between the ages of 18 and 35, so tomorrow in the evening from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at the London Business School, Swamiji will be speaking on success now, a talk aimed at young professionals. Please spread the word, and to 18 to 35-year-olds. So that is one. On Wednesday, the 14th of June, from 7:30 to 9, Francis Holland School, where the current Yuvakendra, Chinmaya Yuvakendra CHYKs, as they're known, meet every week at Baker Street. At the same center, Swamiji will have a satsang again aimed at the youth. So 18 to 35, if they cannot for some reason attend tomorrow's talks, please take the opportunity to attend this satsang. Now, Swamiji very articulated it. How did he do it? He said he said we're being roasted in the pan of samsara. Yes, and for some of us there is some tadka as well. as an instruction manual for life. We have a wonderful opportunity, an initiative that was started last year as the Geetathon, which brings the Bhagavad Gita to your own home. So the Gita in every home. Now that we have our own resident Acharya, Brahmacharini Sri Priyaji, if you haven't met her, please say Hari Om. Please contact one of us so that we can organize a visit to your home where you can gather your friends, relatives, and you can choose a topic within the Gita that you wish to understand, and we can organize a satsang that way. So the Gita in every home. Please make use of this opportunity. And we have, Puja Guruji, Swami Shivatmananda, who was until recently the head of the Chinmaya mission worldwide, it is his birthday on the 30th of June, but we're celebrating it on the following day, the 1st of July, with a concert entitled Kritagnyata, Gratitude, a concert by Prabhat Rao, who most of you might have known and heard. So that is here from 7:30 to 9. It'll be followed by Prasad as well, so please do come and attend. There are many, many events, the first of which is on the 9th of July, Guru Purnima. But if you want to know more, there is a sheet available, printed out, list of events, including the visit by the current head of the Chinmaya Mission UK, Chinmaya Mission Worldwide, Swami Swarupananda, in September. So please take a sheet and mark your diaries. Again, thank you, Swamiji. Thank you all. Hari Om. And of course, please do visit the bookshop.